On the morning of June 30th, 1908, something terrifying exploded above the frozen wilderness of Siberia. Deep within the remote Tunguska region of the Russian Empire, the sky suddenly erupted into fire. Witnesses described a blazing object racing across the atmosphere, brighter than the sun itself. Moments later, an enormous explosion shook the earth. The blast flattened forests, shattered windows hundreds of kilometers away, and sent shock waves across the sky. People were thrown to the ground by the force. Some believed the world was ending. Others thought the heavens themselves had opened above Siberia. More than a century later, the Tunguska Event remains one of the greatest unexplained explosions in human history. The explosion occurred in one of the most isolated regions on Earth. Vast forests stretched endlessly across the Siberian wilderness, home to only small groups of hunters and indigenous communities. Many witnesses later described seeing a glowing fireball crossing the sky, followed by deafening thunder. Some reported intense heat striking their skin moments before the shockwave arrived. Trees collapsed in every direction, as if an invisible force had swept across the land. Reindeer were killed instantly. Forest fires ignited beneath dark, smoke-filled skies. Yet, despite the massive destruction, no impact crater was ever discovered. That mystery would become one of the most puzzling details surrounding the event. For years, the remote location prevented scientists from properly investigating the disaster. It was not until 1927 that Soviet researcher Leonid Kulik finally reached the blast zone. What he discovered shocked the scientific world. Millions of trees had been flattened outward across more than 2,000 square kilometers of forest. The destruction pattern suggested an enormous explosion occurred above the ground rather than directly on impact. At the center of the zone, some trees strangely remained standing, but completely burned and stripped of branches. The landscape looked like the aftermath of an unimaginable force released from the sky. Scientists proposed many theories to explain the Tunguska event. The most widely accepted explanation suggests that a meteor or asteroid entered Earth's atmosphere at extreme speed before exploding in the air several kilometers above the forest. This type of explosion, known as an airburst, could release energy equal to a powerful nuclear weapon without leaving a large crater behind. Other researchers suggested the object may have been a comet, made mostly of ice, that disintegrated completely during the blast. But over the decades, far more unusual theories also appeared. Some people believed the explosion involved antimatter, secret experiments, or even unidentified extraterrestrial technology. The mystery became even more fascinating because strange effects were reported far beyond Siberia. In parts of Europe, nights appeared unusually bright for days after the explosion. Some people claimed they could read newspapers outdoors at midnight beneath glowing skies. Scientists believe microscopic particles thrown high into the atmosphere may have reflected sunlight across the planet. Yet, despite decades of study, no large meteor fragments have ever fully solved the mystery. The Tunguska event remains one of the most powerful impacts ever recorded in modern history, but many details surrounding the object itself are still debated today. More than 100 years later, the forests of Tunguska still carry the scars of that terrifying morning. Falling trees, scientific expeditions, and endless theories continue to draw researchers back into the Siberian wilderness searching for answers. Was it simply a cosmic accident caused by a meteor exploding above Earth? Or does the event still hide secrets humanity has yet to fully understand? The truth remains buried somewhere beneath the forests, the swamps, and the silence of Siberia. Because on one summer morning in 1908, the sky exploded above the Earth with a force powerful enough to flatten 80 million trees. And the mystery of what truly caused it may never be completely solved.